Welcome back to Velocity Invitational. It's been a beautiful weekend here of weather, especially. We've got a heat wave here in California, so we've had milder conditions than expected in October, but we'll take it. It's absolutely gorgeous here at the moment. It was very hot yesterday, and in fact, it was a bit of a struggle for some of the drivers at some of the group races, and of course, because it's historic racing, generally speaking, they're over 18. A little bit older than that, so yeah, not as fit as perhaps they used to be, and so there was definitely a lot of tired heads yesterday, and I'm sure by the end of this afternoon it will be the same. Now, we've got a bit of a lull in our group racing, but if you've ever heard the expression back by popular demand, that is what is happening right now, because Travis Pastrana is back. He's certainly in the pits, and he's just done a quick run. I think he's got back in the pits now to change tyres. But he has taken that 1983 Subaru GL family Huckster, prepared by Vermont Sports Car. I misspoke before. Thank you, Vermont. But we mentioned Leia Block, who is, of course, now racing single-seaters in Formula One Academy. Well, of course, her dad, Ken Block, pretty much started this whole scene of Gymkhana and this type of coverage and what we call Gymkhana stunt driving franchise, and it's left its mark for sure. Just consider 500 million views on YouTube, and that's just getting started. And that began in, 2008? And, of course, Ken Block ripped through the likes of San Francisco. In fact, if you really want to see a great example of what I'm talking about, go on YouTube, look up Ken Block around the streets, Gymkhana around the streets of San Francisco, and it will blow your mind, quite frankly. He goes to Sweden, he goes to Tokyo, he goes all over. And then sadly, Ken has now passed away, but he handed the reins over to his long friend and rival Travis Pastrana, who is out here today. That was back in 2020, and now we're on the 11th installment of the franchise, and the first to feature the 2009 Gymkhana 2, which was viewed by 65 million hits at its launch. Now, this Vermont Sports Car, and don't forget there's an autograph session coming up at 1:15, so that's another thing to remind you if you are at the event. We do have in about an hour's time, or just under an hour's time now, 1:15 autograph sessions where you'll see the likes of the top professionals here, including Travis, but we've got several IndyCar drivers. And don't forget, you could buy official Velocity merch, some great hats, some great T-shirts, bags, you name it. I bought a poster, so you don't have to go all in. The posters I've got framed on my wall from the first one, and now I'll have the fifth. And I've mentioned before, don't forget to buy your tickets as well for next year. That's the big news story from last night, if you weren't with us. The 6th to the 8th of June is going to be the 2025 date of this event. And if you are smart enough to go down to the ticket office, you'll get a good discount, I would have thought, if you buy them here at the event today, ahead for next year. Perfect time to do it, June. And so that'll be the 6th edition of Velocity Invitational. So definitely get down, get yourself a ticket, get ahead of the game, and why wouldn't you want to come back? And I'll bet you there'll be some big surprises next year. That's the beauty of what Jeff O'Neill and his team have done, is that they're so keen on making this a success that you just don't know who might show up. Anyway, here we go. Pastrana in his Gymkhana car, in the outrageous carbon fiber bodied wagon style of a 1983 Subaru GL. But beneath the bodywork is a tubular frame, and it all came together from what they learned at winning the Washington Hill Climb in 2020 with the Air Slayer STI, and it now shares the same 862 brake horsepower under the hood, so no mean feat. Turbocharged Subaru Boxer 4-cylinder engine and disconnecting rear axle. The family Huckster incorporates active aerodynamics for the fenders and rear wing that are unlike any Gymkhana car or rally car, I may add. So yeah, he can just push those wings up and down anytime he likes. And of course it changes the balance of the car, changes the yaw, and yeah, it helps him get through nice little tight spots like that. You know, I'm casually talking about this as though this is just a normal drive, but it is for Travis Pastrana. But when you look at the accuracy with which he is driving, it's insane. Goes through about 300 sets of tires an hour. No, that was a joke, but he could do. Donut City. There he is, lost in smoke. And I reckon those set of tires are probably pretty much beat by now. And if you weren't here for his earlier demonstration, I was also describing the fact that Travis in his day is a multiple American rally driver champion, as well as his exploits at the X Games, of which he has medal after medal after medal in different disciplines, from super trucks to rallycross to motocross to you name it. And now has his own Nitro series, which he gets some pretty big luminaries at, I may add. And it's just great to have him here at an event like this and putting on a show for the folks. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be doing any more. He looks as though he's going to do a lap. Is he going to do some actual laps? No, he's coming back. He just chooses to come back through the pit lane, and that could be it. But you never know with Travis, if he's in the mood. I've been very lucky to have covered the X Games and watched his career. And he and the likes of Brian Deegan, and if we talk about Leia Block, well, Haley Deegan, about to, well, she's just come from Xfinity, the daughter of Brian Deegan, who is also a multiple X Games champion. And she now is about to take part in the final round of the Formula Regional Championship. So we wish her well. I'll be at that event as well at COTA. That's the final round of F4 and FR. So we'll see how she gets on there. I saw her at the Race of Champions, the All-Star Race of Champions for Trans Am recently. First time she tried Trans Am as well. So lots of women now doing some really spectacular stuff in motor racing, and it's really good to see. And I think you can hear from the enthusiasm of someone like Josie Rimmer just what it means to do and be part of something like that. And it's just awesome to see how this has evolved so quickly and so responsibly too, because it's easy not to be responsible to do that sort of stuff. Well, as you can see, they are having a word, having a chat. They're not doing much for the car, so it must be just a quick turnaround or a quick chat, see how it's going. Or maybe he's not perfectly comfortable in the car, but either way. And, of course, I'm sure that it's festooned with GoPros and cameras and all sorts, getting every angle covered. And I'm sure they will be putting out their own YouTube video of what they do here at Sonoma. And so that'll be worth a watch, especially the onboards, because you can actually see when you're on board just exactly what he's doing to affect the car and how he goes about his office business, so to speak, because that cockpit is his office. The other thing I forgot to mention is he's also jumped this car at one of the events and jumped it over 200 feet. So a mean feat at all. And an old rival of his, Scott Speed, they've done lots of rallycross together, is also here And he too is driving a Subaru, but a very different one. It's the most modern Project Midnight, and we'll see that in action later today. We've had it out already once, but we'll see it again. And that too is really worth a chat. Yeah, and just to reiterate, two-time Nitro Cross Series champion, a series which he invented, mind you, in 21 and 22. He's the current record holder of a Mount Washington hill climb. That's where they got the inspiration for a lot of this car and the Huckster. And then Nitro Cross Series and co-founder and track designer as well, of course, and the most successful freestyle motocross athlete in history. Right up, cowboy. Now, I tell you, I said it before, when I grow up, I want to be Travis Pastrana, please. What else do you want to do? That's so much fun. His memory, that's another thing that astonishes me. His ability to remember a course and learn a course like he's doing here in a very short amount of time is no mean feat. Because if you can think about it, what he's looking at is a bunch of smoke and a lot of grey asphalt. And finding those bollards, getting around them, not hitting them, and not spinning out is no mean feat too. Like you see, how can he see through there? Well, he's managing it, and that's all part of the skill. So awareness, agility, technique, and, well, let's face it, just chutzpah are a huge part of what Travis Pastrana is all about it. He's not the only man in the world who does it, but he's certainly the best. Putting on a show for Turn 11. And that's where the drivers' lounge is. It's also where the summits are being held. And we've even had a drivers' forum as well, where the professional drivers have got together to discuss their jobs and their lives and what they do and how they go about it. And I'm sure that was very interesting as well. And like I said, we've got a few symposiums. And that's another side of this now. As this grows as an event, we have that ability. Now, Women in Motorsport highlighting this year. Mobile One involved in that as well. And so we've got, you know, we're moving things forward. It's not just a bit of fun. There's some serious B2B going on here behind the scenes. And also some serious discussions about how we move forward in motorsport. So well done to Travis. Another great exhibition by him. And we'll just let him come in and either get ready to go out again. I can see some tires readied, but whether he goes out again, we'll see. Our next group coverage, by the way, after this will be Group 2. That's cars from 1956 to 1961. That's sports cars, sports racing cars, excuse me. And then we've got 66 to 79 SCCA, B sedan and C sedan cars. And those are the under 2 litre and under 2.5 litre from Trans Am's days. Still going today, of course, the sedan class in Trans Am. And then we'll have our first exhibition of hypercars. It looks as though he's doing some joyrides as well, by the looks of things. I can see some helmets and some folks getting in and out of the car. So, next guest, please. So, putting on some great joyrides. Good to see. Of course, Travis in real rally, stage rally, has had a huge fight, if you will, with the likes of David Higgins as a teammate, and they have raced hard and against each other in American Rally to much success. Travis, a multiple American champion with Subaru, was crowned the 2017 ARA champion, sealing his 5th national rally title. So, pretty impressive. Yeah, another side of what Travis does, and you wonder how he goes about it. Well, he's able to remember these complex sequences, and that's a part of the game for him. And that's what makes him able to almost thread the needle with this massive powered car. And so that's why hill climbs are part of the repertoire. He's done New Hampshire, Mount Washington, set a new record in the process at Mount Washington. On Pikes Peak, of course. And that was in another Vermont sports car prepared WRX STI. And he blitzed that, a 7.6 mile climb in just 5 minutes and 44 seconds. That's worth repeating. 7.6 miles climbing up dirt roads at speed, 5 minutes and 44 seconds, breaking the previous record held by his mentor David Higgins, fellow rally driver and rally champion, and beat Higgins' time by more than 20 seconds. Pretty impressive. Yeah, he won the first gold medal for rally cars at the X Games, and I think it was almost a trial when they first brought rally into the X Games, because it seemed a little bit, you know, slightly different for the X Games, which is obviously known for its skateboarding and BMX racing and so on and so forth. So motocross, supercross, but why not? And so in they came, and it was an absolute success right from the get-go. And Travis has been a long-time supporter and promoter of X Games coverage. And here he goes again. Well, I don't think we've got any more tyres left for young Travis. He's got to gone through a bunch of Yokohamas. So why don't we tell you and sell you some tyres? We'll take a short break. We'll be right back from Velocity Invitational.